All right, we are live. Hello, Facebook family. I am Dana Lewis, and I have Sarah with me. Sarah is a mom to two special needs, single mom to two special needs children, right? Us single moms have a special place in our hearts for one another. And we are here today to just talk about breaking free from yo-yo dieting and just living at a higher and better level. So if you are here with us live, please say hi. Please engage. Allow this to be an interactive conversation. We just wanted to just come on, talk real facts about dieting and having a battle with your body, the way that it feels, the way that it looks, whatever, and how that affects your mindset. So Sarah, I am super excited to jump into this conversation with you. Can you share with us, let's start at the beginning and talk about yo-yo dieting and talk about just your history with food.
I just did a post on my personal page today being like, guys, this is a big vulnerability share here because I'm going to go into the stuff, the real stuff about what it feels like to be obese and what that cycle, that psychological cycle that becomes a physical problem and how it takes over your life. And it's so frustrating because everybody eats, right? So like when you're somebody who can't get it under control, you feel like something is wrong with you. And it's this whole cycle. So if I were to start at the beginning, like I was in the military in my teens and 20s, like from 18 to 29. And so I was fit. I had physical fitness tests. This is not something that obesity was not something that I struggled with my whole life. My body probably is. So when I got out of the military, a couple things happened to me in the military that kind of were yucky. So I felt crappy. And then I got in a really bad marriage and that just piled it on. So all these things started falling apart at once in my life. And I hit bottom. I kind of looked around and I was like, oh my God, I'm in my 30s and I have nothing now. And instead of dealing with the feelings of failure and, well, what I perceived as failure, which looking back, it wasn't failure. But when
it wasn't failure, but it's your mind can go terrible places.
Yeah. And food was my drug. And so I would eat to numb myself. And then I gained all this weight. And then my weight was like my protection from people. So instead of healing what was happening in me, I was like buffering the world from myself.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. So with that being a mental buffer, like can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So it's the chemical, like eating can be as addicting, right? So the endorphin rush that you get from, and like the serotonin release that you get from eating, if you have an eating disorder, is no different than drugs or alcohol. And so that you're numbing, you're almost getting a spike of adrenaline, that rush, that excitement of eating. It's so crazy to talk. I can't believe I'm even talking about this. It's insane.
But it's so real. It's so real. It's true.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. People don't talk about it.
And then what happens is you put on this weight and then you just feel so bad about yourself. No different than somebody who goes on a bender with addiction, any other kind of addiction, sex addiction, shopping. That endorphin release that you get is the high you're chasing, but then you feel twice as bad afterwards because you have the damaged relationships or the gained weight or whatever it is, plus the feelings that you're still trying to get away from. And I didn't realize, obviously, this is what I was doing until one day I woke up. And what happens is, y'all, let me tell you something. You've never been fat. This thought that like being obese, these people are lazy. Obese people are the least lazy people on the planet. Imagine carrying around a 100-pound bag all the time. So somebody who's 100 pounds overweight are doing that every minute of their life. It is exhausting on your heart, your cardiovascular system, your everything. It's exhausting. I would lay in bed in the morning and cry because my feet hurt so bad because I had plantar fasciitis because I couldn't walk. So I damaged the tendons in my feet just from existing. And I had 2 kids in diapers. My husband left me for somebody 15 years younger. Like, just numbing. And you're on like that negative cycle of, I already feel lousy, so I might as well continue feeling lousy and continue feeling lousy. So share with us like how the mindset shift, how did you get yourself out of that downward cycle? Because that is not easy. It isn't. And there was no way I could have done it on my own. And I think that was maybe the first, it took me a while to realize that. And I had to deal with the psychological first for me. It wasn't about weight loss. I had to heal myself. And so I had actually even had gastric surgery. Like that's how much at battle with my body I was. And it was the only decision in my life I ever regret was doing that, because I knew it was a mental issue. It wasn't a physical issue. And
because of the cycles of failed diets. Because at that time, were you trying to go on diets? Like,
Dana, I could write every diet book ever written. I know everything from, back in the day where you add the water, like the freeze dried food, which God, I hope that doesn't even exist anymore. I used to take these pills that they'd sell at GNC. I've done every diet you can imagine, and they all work until they don't. Yeah. And then you feel like I failed at the diet, because everybody knows somebody who succeeded on keto or paleo or any of the diets. But when you have a disorder on the inside that's preventing you from succeeding, you have to deal with that first. And I knew that.
Yeah. And you had shared that like the cycles of these failed diets, they just add to the depression and add to your feeling like you're broken in some way. Yes. And you're not. Clearly you're not, because you've gotten yourself out of this. Right. So how did you find, like, what is the better way?
Right. So I was sitting in the VA psych outpatient ward. I was that bad. I was like, and I remember saying a prayer, and I was like, God, I surrender this to you. But it wasn't about my weight. It was about my mental battle. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I was sitting in the waiting room. This is a really long story, but bottom line is I ended up leaving that appointment early because I got an alert on my phone from somebody I had met years ago about mental wellness and the gut microbiome and how you can heal yourself without meds. And you can
but back up a second. You scooted past. Where were you sitting when you read this?
I was in the so part of my issue is I had PTSD from some stuff that happened to me in the military. And I finally surrendered and was like, I have to deal with this trauma. I have to deal with it because I know this is part of the story. And I went to the VA, which is not the greatest medical facility ever. And that's where I was. So I was surrendering to getting support for my PTSD issues.
Waiting to get meds.
So I went in to see the nurse. And then
waiting to do a psych eval so that you could get meds.
I did the psych eval. Okay. And then the psychiatrist was waiting to see. I had to go back to the waiting room after they processed everything. And then she was ready to see me. And they weren't quite sure if I needed to be on mood stabilizers or something stronger, because they weren't sure if I had something more diagnosable. Now, P.S., I was already in school to be a therapist. And so I knew meds were not the road I wanted to take, but I also was that desperate. And I got an alert on my phone about microbiome. And I'm like, what is this? And there was an internal knowing, my intuition, which is our first brain before any of these other brains, told me to get the hell out of there. Do not start these meds and look into this. And so I went home and I did my research and I ordered, I ordered all the things because I didn't know what I wanted. And I started, actually I used the 𝘸𝘪𝘵 B3 pack and started that program, and I started regulating my emotions, and I just kind of started being able to breathe and wake up not hating myself, which I don't think you realize, or I didn't realize how much I hated myself until I stopped hating myself. And I don't know how to quantify that to somebody, but
it's so true. It's depression. Like for myself with anxiety, like I never realized that I had anxiety until I realized that I was behaving differently in situations that would make me anxious. And it goes back to you. So you went on this protocol, the gut healing protocol.
Right.
And over the course of healing your gut microbiome, you now stopped hating yourself because that gut brain connection
gives me chills. I have chills right now. That's literally what happened. And then I stopped self-sabotaging. Yeah. And my habits unintentionally started changing. There wasn't an awareness of like, now I'm going to do keto and it's going to work. It was like, you know what? I kind of think I just want a salad, or you know what? I'm going to go an extra block on my walk. All of these positive lifestyle changes I was adding in because I wasn't fighting myself anymore. And it took another year, because I'm a slow learner, for the light bulb to go off of like, holy crap, this is actually helping my physical body too. It's helping my insides and I feel good, but I'm losing weight. People are coming up to me and they're like, what are you doing different? I'm like, I just had a donut. I don't know. Because it's not perfection. It's adding in good choices that then you do good and you feel good and you do good and you feel good.
Yes, and you want to keep up with that cycle. And like the mind-blowing part of it is the B3 pack is the foundation. So the foundation of our mental and physical health, the getting your gut microbiome to work for you releases the serotonin, releases the dopamine, releases the norepinephrine, releases all of the happy neurotransmitters so that your body is in a happy state. And now you want to walk more. It also, like, let's talk a hot second about your cravings and how your cravings cannot be mind over matter.
Right.
Because if you tell yourself, all right, I really, really want cheeseburger and french fries. I really want a cheeseburger and french fries, but I'm not going to have it. I'm going to have this nasty salad first.
Tofu, right.
I'm going to have tofu. Mm-hmm. And then when you're done with the tofu, your brain, your gut is still telling your brain, that was awesome. Where are the french fries? Where are the french fries? Where's the burger? So then you eat the salad and then you go and you eat the burger and you eat the french fries. And now you're satisfied because the gut, the bugs, the bacteria in your gut are so strong that they're sending that signal to your brain. But if what you did is you healed your gut microbiome by giving it, not by taking anything away, but by giving it goodness.
And you flood it, and then the bad cravings die off because you're not feeding the bugs that want that, and they die because they don't get what they want. And the ones that are like, yay, well, none of my bugs ever say yay, kale. That's a stretch. Yeah. Kale's never happening.
But like something, and kale isn't like the holy grail of eating. It's just a healthy choice. But your gut bacteria is literally like little flowers. And the ones that you nourish are the ones that grow. And the ones that you starve off are the ones that diminish. And then slowly over time, like you were saying, it's a year later, you're like, holy cow, I'm walking a lot longer. I have more energy for doing my workouts and I'm eating differently.
And the changes were happening. I just wasn't in tuned enough to notice. Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't take a year for me to feel good. It took me a year to be like, I'm not my own enemy anymore. This is kind of cool. And the fact, I think one of the things that really struck me was that everything is synergetic. They work together.
Yeah. Synergistically blended.
But also
I'm a nerd. Synergistically blended.
So if I had taken the medicines that they wanted to prescribe me, it would have been singular addressing maybe serotonin, maybe like an SSRI, a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which is going to help my serotonin, but it might not have helped my endorphins or like other chemicals in my body. So this helps our body do what it naturally does. And it's across the whole spectrum. And so, we talk about polyvagal theory and all of our systems work together. So that's why when you eat better, you feel better. It's not just because you're patting yourself on the back because you had a salad. It's because the microbiome is flourishing and now the right chemicals are being received by your brain.
Right. And it's rather than doing your isolated treatment that would work for a period of time and you would feel better probably right out of the gate. Over a short course of time, you would need to go back and adjust those meds to then continue to keep working because your serotonin is coming up, but you're not addressing the other neurotransmitters where if you start, like your body is an amazing piece of machinery. If you start with getting your body just to work, then all of the things happen.
Exactly.
And if you wanted to try keto right now, you probably could.
Well, that's the kicker. So that's the thing. That's the best part. I don't know. To me, the best part is like we had a family workout today. Me and my kids together did like a video together because we're like, all right, we got to move a little more. And they're also taking, the kids protocol. And the choices are easier to stick to now. It's not, this isn't anti-diet and this isn't the answer to everything. It's the opening to everything. This to me was how I was able to open the door to wellness and enjoying the meditation and knowing how to take the deep breathing. I'm a mindset coach and I'm a trained as a therapist. Like, I know all the thinking things,
Yeah.
but my body wasn't feeling it until I healed my gut. And so
Yeah.
I don't, it's super vulnerable to share this, but also I don't know anything else after 20 years that has this kind of an impact on an entire life. And then my family, it impacts them too. So I don't know. I'm just happy.
It's lifestyle wellness. It's attainable. It's easy. It's achievable.
Yeah. It's so easy. And we're not talking about like some huge lifestyle change. We're talking about supplementation that then opens the door to the exercise you already know you should be doing.
Right.
And the foods that you want to crave.
Right.
It just opens the door.
Because you're healing, at the crux of it, you're healing your gut microbiome, and that gut truly is your first brain. Yeah. And you are just helping your body so that you can show up and thrive. You're getting your body to work for you without counting the calories or doing some crazy nonsense. Because when you go on those diets, your stress level rises. Not only does it not change your cravings, so you still crave the other things, but your stress raises, and then your body is in this fight or flight state, and you're not going to lose the weight anyhow because your stress is so high that your body's like, this woman hates what's going on. She is so stressed out. All belly fat. I was
just going to say, I'm like, and it's all in the belly. So the last thing I want to touch on quick, which is really funny because I don't talk a lot about edge. And the reason is, which is funny because I've had such a struggle with my weight my whole life. I'm very reluctant to be like, oh guys, there's this one thing. If you try this one thing, it will help. You know what I'm saying? But guys, guess what? So when I started this, we didn't have this edge product, which is mood, metabolism, and motivation. It's a drink. It's plant-based. It's just 3 ingredients. And I'm like, I'm not talking about that because I have spent too many years listening to people pitch me stuff, and my heart's been broken too many times. I'm not doing it. I'm sticking to the protocol, and that's what it is. But it's really good.
Yeah, so, but you've added it. So I think the key with that is that healing your gut microbiome is a long-term solution. It's a long-term solution to get your body to truly work for you for the long haul, because it's lowering inflammation. It has so much more than weight loss to do with your life and your health. But what Edge, the beautiful watermelon flavored drink, does for you is it's an instant gratification. It instantly lifts your mood. I call it my happy juice. It makes me more productive. I get more excited to do things, and it does kind of kick up your metabolism so that you can get to those weight loss goals faster. Yeah. It's not like there's no, like you said.
Yeah, it's not, but it is honestly, the adding it in has just enhanced just my day. Like I'm just happier. It's almost, it's like the icing on the cherry on top. It's fantastic.
It's the cherry on top, and I will not go. I mean, I don't have this bottle I need a glass bottle because you can tell that it's not water, but you can't tell that it's pink. But I haven't
drinking rum and cokes in the middle of the day.
Right. Well, I don't know about that, but it just helps. It helps with productivity, and I'm passively burning belly fat while I sit here, and that doesn't suck.
Especially at this time of day, right in the middle of
summer.
Like a little refresher. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's been a beautiful additive to my.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been an awesome conversation. I really appreciate you sharing. You guys, if you found any value in this whatsoever, please drop a value below. Yeah. If you want to know more about healing your gut, if you want to know more about just the quick fix, you want a little something just to put a cherry on top of your current regimen, we're here to help you. I truly believe that we're better together. Life solo is not fun. Our community is amazing, and we would love for you just to join us. So drop any questions. Where's my hand? You can't see it here. Drop any questions you have below, and have a fantastic day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Dana.